Daniel Negreanu is looking down on pocket kings. Negreanu opens to 1,600 with pocket kings, exactly the kind of value raise that wants callers but still punishes dominated Broadway and suited connector opens. Fill lock flats with 6-4 suited, a speculative defend that plays best deep and multi-way. Wiggins comes along with Jack-9 offsuit. His call widens the pot with position and a hand that makes strong pairs and disguised 2-pair. Wiggins immediately stabs 2,200 into 5,800. From his seat, this is a natural protection bet. He wants to charge draws and prevent free cards to the overpairs that can counterfeit him later. Negreanu calls with kings. Raising folds out worse and funnels him into a range versus range fight on a coordinated board where he has only one blocker to the flush draw. The turn brings the 10 of clubs, tightening everything. It completes some straights and increases the number of combo draws that would continue. Wiggins slows down with a check. That makes sense. 2-pair on this texture can be fragile when the turn connects so neatly with the flop. He also gives Negreanu rope to bluff what looks like ace-king or miss diamonds. Negreanu bets 10,000. This is a disciplined value protection sizing. Kings are still ahead of the 1-pair portion of Wiggins's flop stab, and they deny equity to the diamond and gutter region. But the sizing is small enough to avoid isolating himself only versus straights and 2-pair.
Oh, dang, yo, come on, man.
I'm thinking about maybe just doubling you up real good.
Ernest let out on the flop, then called the turn. Say what you will about the guy, but he hasn't been chasing a lot of draws, so Daniel has to know Ernest has a real hand.
I check.
2-pair.
Yes.
Jack-9.
I knew it.
Favorite hand. Jack-9.
Poopy, poopy, poopy. I think it would have worked.
I mean, a real hefty bet, honestly. You know, I'm thinking like, I'm thinking maybe got an 8.
I had 2 kings, man.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on Jack-9 suited. He opens to $3,000 on the button, a classic small ball steal that also invites dominated jacks and queens to continue. Doyle Brunson flat calls in the small blind with Queen-Jack suited, a smooth defend that keeps Negreanu's range wide and retains post-flop maneuverability.
Well, that's a lot of money out there, baby. A lot of money out there.
Go and get you some.
Troy Wiggins completes in the big blind with pocket 4s for set value, and the stage is set. Brunson, holding top pair with a strong kicker, declines to bet into 2 players on a coordinated texture because checking keeps Negreanu's bluffs alive and avoids building a pot where he could be outkicked or check raised by club draws. The paired board reduces semi-bluffs, and Doyle seizes the lead for $8,000. From his seat, Negreanu's flop check capped him toward medium strength and draws, so Doyle's stab is designed to extract from worse jacks and to tax the clubs and queen-10 type gutters. Negreanu calls rather than raise. The flat keeps the pot manageable against a range that still contains ace-jack or king-jack, keeps Doyle's bluffs and thin value hands firing, and leverages position to make the final decision with maximum information. This river is a sneaky upgrade for Negreanu to 2-pair, while a large chunk of Doyle's range remains 1 pair of jacks. Doyle checks, signaling showdown mode rather than a polarized line. Negreanu now turns the knobs. His hand cleanly targets Queen-Jack and King-Jack, while very rarely running into a slow-played full house on this sequence.
Biggest hand I've had.
Quick call.
Got Jack-9.
Tough river card for the legend. Doyle Brunson running very salty tonight.
Daniel Negreanu is about to play 6-deuce suited. Phil Hellmuth opens to 800 with King-10 offsuit, the kind of loose early raise he uses to test the waters and try to play pots post-flop. Negreanu immediately leans on it, re-raising to 3,600. With 6-2 suited, this is not about raw card strength. It is about punishing Phil's wide open, isolating the weakest range at the table, and taking the betting lead in position.
Who lost the last pot?
Doyle Brunson cold calls with pocket jacks, a classic trap that keeps worse hands in and avoids turning his medium-high pair into a bluff catcher against a 4-bet. Getting the price and curious to navigate post-flop, Phil comes along. That is a very Negreanu result. His pre-flop 3-bet range contains plenty of big queens, overpairs, and high card backdoors, so checking back keeps his range wide and ambiguous while realizing equity with his suited wheel trash. It also invites Phil to fire turns from out of position and forces Doyle to reveal how comfortable he is with jacks on a coordinated board. When Negreanu declines to c-bet, he preserves the option to attack later streets if either opponent betrays weakness with sizing or timing. The turn is the 4 of spades, a deceptively important card. It adds real backdoor flush pressure while also nudging straight grids like 3-6 into view. Phil leads 7,000 into about 19,000, a classic mid-sizing that tries to win the pot before the board becomes scarier. Against Daniel, that size usually reads as 1 pair or air rather than a queen or better that wants protection and volume. Daniel just calls. He is not chasing, he is keeping Phil's bluffs alive, protecting his own strong hands that would play this way, slow-played queens and some spade floats, and setting up maximum leverage on rivers that amp up the story. Doyle, now sandwiched in hating life with jacks, lets it go. The river is the 2 of spades, completing the backdoor spade flush and putting 4 to a wheel in the picture. It is a nightmare card for capped 1-pair holdings. Phil drops a 6,000 block bet, a telltale sizing that asks for a cheap showdown and implicitly admits he does not love his hand. Daniel pounces and raises to 46,000. What does he represent? From Phil's seat, it is coherent for Daniel to have exactly the hands his line preserved, 2 spades that checked flop multi-way, called the turn lead, and now raise for value, or a slow-played queen with a spade that upgrades from bluff catcher to thin value on a bet-blocked river.
Speech time. It's gotta come.
He might have like 6-9 offsuit. It's Daniel. Good bet.
And Phil lays it down.
Finally got there. Took a while, but I had you.
He nailed it. Look at that. That's sick. That's not gonna look good on TV.
Yeah, whatever that is, it's not gonna look good.
That's gonna be bad for a profile, unfortunately.
Little do they know, Daniel did have the best hand.
I play so bad. I know Daniel's playing the rush and he's going to re-raise.
Yes, that was what I was doing.
I knew it.
The analysis post-flop is not the time to get it right.
You
You
didn't
want
have
to
a
get
pair?
that during the hand.
You didn't have a pair? You couldn't call?
5, 4.
Imagine you made like a call with 2 3s.
Huh?
What are you doing betting 6,000?
That's when I'm supposed to pick off all the chips from him. When he
bet 6,000?
when he starts messing with me.
That's if you have a... Like,
You got Doyle smiling.
Negreanu is looking down on ace-jack offsuit. He opens to 400 in Torelli flats with pocket fives, a perfect depth and position call that set mines while keeping Negreanu's weaker aces and broadways in. Pocket fives thrive in exactly this configuration. Stacks are deep enough to realize implied odds, position is secured on the razor, and there are aggressive players behind who may overcall and sweeten the price. Turning fives into a 3-bet would narrow Negreanu to a tough, high-card range and invite a 4-bet that forces the pair into a guessy spot or a fold. The flop comes Queen 5-2 with 2 clubs and the initiative shifts. Negreanu has range advantage and fires 1,150, a small c-bet that folds out the air and taxes hands like Ace-X without a club while still keeping dominated queens in.
Over half pot into 4 opponents, this bet should come free with a drink at the bar because it is a little nuts.
Torelli springs the value raise to 2,500 with middle set. It builds the pot, protects against club and straight runouts, and forces Negreanu to define his hand. Negreanu's call is the right kind of stubborn. With ace-jack, he has 2 clean overcards. The nut club backdoor via the ace of clubs, and he keeps Torelli's bluffs and thinner value lines alive, rather than turning his hand into a bluff with a 3-bet. The turn is the jack of clubs, and it's a huge texture shift for Negreanu's strategy even though he's still behind. He pairs up, picks up the nut club blocker, and leads 3,100 into a range that just advertised strength on the flop. The donk bet does several jobs at once. It denies a free card to ace-queen and king-queen with a club. It prevents Torelli from setting the price with all of his strong but vulnerable hands. And it tells a story consistent with a flush that arrived and now wants value. Torelli's call keeps the trap set with his set of fives, but notice how the informational asymmetry flips. Negreanu has seized the narrative and gets to choose the river cadence. The river is the ace of diamonds, pairing Negreanu to aces and jacks and leaving the front door clubs unchanged.
And he moves all in. We could be about to lose Daniel Negreanu.
And immediately turns to the weapon that separates him from almost everyone else at the table, live read pressure via table talk. He starts narrating the hand out loud in a way that pins Torelli to a category,
Got ace, queen of hearts or something.
alternating confidence with doubt so that every nod in Torelli's head feels recognized. He sprinkles in just enough truth to be believable.
It's like I want to fold.
Really?
You have a what?
I want to fold.
You don't have a fold?
No, I want to fold.
Oh,
I wanted to
did you have
fold
ace, queen of hearts? Is that what you have? 'Cause that's kind of what I put you on.
Fold the damn turn.
Ace, queen of hearts might get half. Go for the high, I'll take the low.
Might get half. That's good.
I appreciate you watching this far. If you're enjoying these videos, hit that like button. It really helps me out. Thank you.
You're special, though.
That's what I've been told. He had fives?
Ding.
And he lays it down! He folds the set!
Show like a red 9 and you're my hero.
I'll show you one card, that's good. Let's see.
King of clubs.
Wow, what a card, right?
Jennifer Tilly is looking down on 8-6 suited. Negreanu opens with ace-2 offsuit. That is a light but purposeful steal, using the ace as a blocker to reduce the chance he runs into a premium and leaning on position to realize whatever equity shows up later. Tilly answers with a re-raise. That choice is great against a suspected wide open because suited connectors play cleanly post-flop, deny cheap realization to the opener, and set her up to attack a player who loves to take flops.
It's a little too small, Jen. Phil Locke is going to be upset with you after that raise size because it's too small. Like,
Last time I took advice from you, I lost the tournament.
sorry.
Negreanu calls rather than four-betting. He keeps her range wide, carries the positional advantage into a pot that is not yet bloated, and quietly pockets the option to turn later cards into leverage, even when he misses.
Okay, now I'm going to do the dunk bet.
It's not a donk bet because you were the pre-flop raiser.
Oh, okay, it's not a dunk bet.
It's a continuation bet.
A continuation bet.
Tilly follows through for a small C-bet. The sizing stresses floats and gut shots, and keeps her range comfortably uncapped.
A lot of bad cards can come off, and then I can just bluff raise the turn or something stupid like that.
You could.
Turn a pair into a bluff. I'm really good at that. It's one of my big things Bill Reynolds taught me.
Negreanu does not have value, but he does have a plan. He calls to float, buying one more card and preserving the initiative advantage that comes from acting last. If she slows on the turn, he gets to tell the next chapter. If she barrels big, he can release cheaply and move on. The texture inches toward the middling wheelish territory that favors the caller. Tilly checks. That single check compresses her range away from very strong overpairs and toward one-pair hands and draws that prefer pot control. Negreanu seizes the mic with a bet. The number is not huge, but the message is loud. He denies a free card to overcards, pressures hands like ace-queen and king-jack that C-bet once, and begins building a story that can arrive at straights and two-pair by the river. His literal hand did not improve, however his distribution did, because the cards he credibly represent improved. Calling the flop to take it away on the turn is classic small ball pressure, and he executes it cleanly. This is the card that ties the room together, and the run-out connects squarely with the very suited connectors that defend 3-bet pots from the blinds. Tilly leads small. That type of sizing often functions as a blocker, a way to name a price with a hand that does not want to face a pot-sized bomb. To Negreanu, that looks like a door left slightly open. He chooses to kick it in and chips. The shove polarizes him to the straights and strong two-pair he has been representing since the turn.
We probably have the same hand. Oh, so sick. You have 9-jack, right?
Would that be the same hand as you have? Because if you did have that and you didn't call by now, it would be a little bizarre.
You're in Jennifer Tilly's seat. You have the straight. Negreanu shoves over your small lead. What's your move, snap call, or an impossible fold? And why in one sentence? Best clear answer gets pinned.
Oh, God.
Oh, you have a 6? Have you raised me with a 6 out of position?
No.
That's crazy talk.
Tilly folds.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 10-7 offsuit, but Seaver has raised to $1,300 with pocket fives, and Hashem has called with Jack-10 suited.
Uh-oh, this is Daniel's favorite hand, and it's actually gotten him into trouble in the big game before.
Re-raises on the button to 5,200.
He knows Seaver's range is wide and Hashem's flat is vulnerable. Even though it's his favorite hand, he's trying to play the players, not the cards. This raise is about letting them know that he's going to give them a hard time this hand if they decide to play along.
Scott Seaver is really hoping Daniel has an overpair so that he has the right implied odds to make this call.
Hashem folded, So heads up to the flop. King, deuce, queen. Seaver checks the best hand.
Negreanu knows Seaver could easily have king-queen here after raising and then calling Daniel's re-raise pre-flop. But why would he check? Daniel smells weakness, and that's usually when he gets curious.
He reps, betting 6,200.
Looks like Scott's gonna peel.
He calls.
Hashem wants his cards back.
6 of spades on the turn. Seaver checks.
Daniel still got just 10 high. This is one of the dangers of having a favorite hand.
Daniel does not look like he's about to check. After just calling the flop and checking the turn, Negreanu is probably putting Seaver on a draw or the weak pocket pair he does indeed have. He's thinking, if I apply the right pressure now, Seaver might just fold and give me all the money.
Daniel does fire that third barrel, making it 14,200 to go.
I could justify Scott's call on the flop, thinking maybe Daniel would shut down after one bet, but Daniel certainly hasn't shut down.
Seaver keeps it going. He calls.
Seaver's totally stationing Negreanu.
You mean like a calling station?
Exactly.
4 clubs on the river. Seaver checks.
Sick.
Daniel fires 36,000.
Seaver is capped, checked every street, and never repped strength. Daniel has nothing, but he knows Seaver is weak enough to fold. This is a masterclass.
Folds the winner.
Phew-wee. You had me staring. I had my favorite hand. You know what that is?
10-7?
7 of diamonds and 10 of clubs specifically. Can't believe I got away with a bluff.
Negreanu is looking down on ace-4 suited. Phil Ivey opens to 70K with 9-6 offsuit, tempo over texture. He is testing Negreanu's willingness to surrender small pots at a final table where ladder pressure is real. Negreanu flats. He could 3-bet some of these wheel aces, but calling keeps Ivey's range bloated, preserves position, and, crucially, lets Negreanu play the hand, not just the cards. Check from Negreanu invites the expected feeler. Ivey obliges for 60K, a sizing that says, I'm betting range, rather than I'm betting hand. Negreanu snaps the narrative back with a raise to 160K. That raise does 2 jobs at once. It tests the auto C-bet, and plants the seed that he can absolutely have a queen from the pre-flop flatting range. More importantly, it announces, you don't get to cruise through this pot. Ivey just calls. An elegant counter. He declines to re-raise into the story. Negreanu is telling, keeps his own range elastic, and sends a silent message, I'm not folding, keep talking. The card perks up Ivey's equity and brings the heart door. Excellent leverage material. Negreanu checks after representing big strength on the flop. That slowdown is intentional. If you're holding a queen, you often trap here, and if you're light, you want Ivey to bet himself into a corner. Ivey fires 225K. This is a pressure bet more than a value bet. He's attacking the pause and using the new equity the turn gave him to justify heat. Negreanu's call is commitment to the role he chose on the flop. Strong hands call to spring the river. Weak hands with backbone call to keep the lie consistent. Either way, the call keeps Ivey in the cage. Backdoor hearts arrive. Negreanu checks once more, inviting the last chapter in the conversation. With the 9 of hearts in his hand, he blocks some flushes, which makes this river stab a high-quality bluff candidate, and the line he's chosen credibly represents a queen that never blinked or a hard hand that improved. You are in Negreanu's seat. All game long, both players showed bluffs. What is your move, call or fold, and why in one sentence? Best clear answer gets pinned.
Look, I don't have that good a hand, but I don't know. I felt like he was going to try to make a goofy move, so I might pay him. Trying to say you have a queen, sir? When do you have, how do you, you're going to learn my trick, how to flop trips? I lost my screen. I don't know. Okay, I played good, kinda. Except you got there.
Everybody limps to Negreanu's big blind, happy to take an almost family pot with the loose cannon.
Buddy, he shows you nothing. He showed me a full house.
And there goes Tony G. See ya.
The flop comes rainbow, but both Negreanu and Hellmuth hit top pair. Wiggins and Daniel check. Lack attacks the standard range poke on this dry board, hoping no one has a queen. Hellmuth immediately bumps it to protect the queen and tacks any potential draws, denying price to gutters. Wiggins gets out of the way.
Phil lock.
See ya!
And tries to rep a bigger queen at Phil's, and it sets the tone that the big blind can still own boards that strike his defending range. Phil, with queen 9 in position, makes the call. He beats every bluff, ties some value, and thinks Daniel can be overprotecting a queen or leaning on fold equity. The turn pairs the board with the 2 of diamonds. That card massively reduces the number of value combos Daniel must fear. But more importantly, the paired deuce kills a lot of Phil's semi-bluff equity and makes it harder for Phil to credibly have a monster. Daniel fires 12,000. This bet is thin for value plus protection, denies free cards, and prevents Phil from realizing with hands that raised flop light. Phil calls again, which is consistent with his plan to bluff catch cap lines and keep Daniel honest on rivers. The river is the 7 of clubs, a relative brick that doesn't complete the major straight draws. Daniel checks.
A queen. Me too. No kicker.
Chop pot.
Okay. I screwed that up. I should have moved in on the river. Damn it. God, I'm so unlucky. Stupid. Unreal. The deuce on the turn.
Deuce on the turn saves your
Sick.
ass.
He's supposed to bet there. I'm going to move it in. Who are these guys? Where do they come from? Sick.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on ace-9 offsuit. Negreanu clocks the dynamic immediately. Wiggins is the table's loose cannon, splashing around, loving post-flop control, and hating big, uncomfortable decisions. Negreanu's plan is simple. Lean on that psychology and the betting patterns it produces. Pre-flop, Negreanu opens to $1,600 with ace-9 offsuit, a hand that prints against wide callers and keeps his range uncapped. Lack and Tony G both flat, inviting the very scenario Negreanu wants. A multi-way pot where discipline and range construction matter more than raw cards. Wiggins completes from the big blind with king-queen, already signaling he'd rather see streets than narrow ranges.
Tony G checks.
I'm gonna bet 5,000.
Wiggins does what loose cannons do, fires $5,000 to protect and find out where he is. Negreanu only calls. That flat does 3 things at once. It keeps Lack in a dominated, second-best world. If he sticks around, it conceals bluffs and value under the same hood, and it sets a trap for the sizing tells Wiggins tends to give on later streets. Lack gets out of the way, and we go heads up. The turn is the 5 of clubs.
I respect you as equal as I respect Doyle, man. But you're not slacking up on me at all. You really gonna make sure that, you know what I'm saying, you making sure I wear my stripes on this table.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
A total brick for the main draws. Watch the bet sizing. Wiggins downgrades to a $2,500 blocker. That's the cap Negreanu was waiting for. Into 17,400. A tiny stab screams 1-pair pot control, not a hand eager to face heat. Negreanu raises to $12,500.
You beat me in the pot right there.
So
He's leveraging position, fold equity, and his ace blocker. He makes it harder for the loose cannon to have the very hands that could comfortably 3-bet. The call, not a re-raise, confirms the cap. The river pairs the jack with the jack of hearts, killing some 2-pair combos and leaving most draws bricked. Wiggins checks, and Negreanu goes for the throat with $35,000.
oh man, you really try to pull the trigger there, didn't you, man? Caught the jack, didn't you? Caught the jack. You had it the whole time, didn't you?
No comment.
Too late, you already nodded your head yes. I
Say
fold.
what?
I fold. You nodded your head yes, real quick. Or what? Too fast for me.
Phil Ivey is looking down on ace-5 suited. Faraz opens to $50,000 with jack-10 offsuit. From late position, this raise represents a wide, linear range that includes suited connectors, broadways, pairs. Ivey calls with ace-5 suited. The call keeps his range uncapped and deceptive.
Were you good at math in school?
I don't think that was math. I don't know what you would call that.
I think it's called edge sorting.
This paired low board is excellent for the caller in Ivey's seat and uncomfortable for 2 overcard ranges. Faraz continuation bets $80,000. That bet leverages his pre-flop initiative and targets autofolds from unimproved overcards. Ivey calls. He continues with several classes. Sean, sandwiched with king-queen and facing strength behind, folds correctly. Most players reduce bluffing frequency on triple-paired textures because full houses are the natural response to aggression. Faraz checks, which reveals a cap. He rarely has full houses after betting and then checking this turn. Ivey checks back intentionally. The check preserves his bluffs, protects his ace-high and small pair bluff catchers. This is the nut card for IB strategy. On 666 with an ace, the player who can credibly have ace-x boats gets to polarize. Faraz checks again, confirming the cap at trip sixes and missed spades. Ivy bets $250,000. The sizing is large by design. It tells a polarized story of full houses and bluffs and targets exactly Faraz's checking range, trip sixes that hate calling a big bet when the ace pairs the board, and busted spade draws that will fold. Since Ivy can arrive with ace-x suited from pre-flop and never needed to raise earlier on such a static board, his value is believable.
The qualifier in the very first heat made the same mistake as the legend Phil Ivey.
Oh, I put the wrong one out. What happens now?
Unless he folded a better hand.
I don't think he did.
So what happens now?
Did you fold a better hand for us?
Sixes full of aces. Faraz did not fold a better hand.
I'm mixed up. Okay.
Phil takes the pot.
Goofy limps the big blind with king 10 suited. Limping protects his range, invites isolates from hands he dominates, and keeps the pot manageable out of position with a hand that plays cleanly post-flop. Nick airball isolates to $1,200 from under the gun with queen 9 offsuit. The raise pressures the limp, seizes initiative, and expects to realize equity against a single caller. Goofy calls. Suited Broadway is too strong to fold, too thin to 3-bet out of position, and calling keeps Nick's range wide. Goofy checks. On an ace-high, 2-diamond texture, Nick is supposed to continuation bet often, so checking lets that happen. Nick obliges for $700, a small, range-driven stab that folds air and taxes random backdoors while leaning on his perceived ace advantage. Goofy check raises to $1,700. King 10 of diamonds is a premium semi-bluff, gut shot to Broadway, the king high diamond draw, and even a royal flush. Raising clears out weak queens and 5s to 9s, charges worse draws, and starts a pot that can realize maximum value when diamonds or Broadway materialize. Nick calls with middle pair and position, keeping bluffs in and retaining control of the pot size. Bang! The third diamond lands and Goofy upgrades from a draw to the nuts. With his story perfectly coherent after the flop raise, he leads $2,000. Leading now Prince, worse diamonds pay, stubborn Queen X pays, and some Ace X talk themselves into continuing because the Jack is a counterfeit scare rather than a clean killer in their minds. Goofy goes for a small, irresistible value bet of $3,500. After check raise, lead, and a blank river, this size targets exactly what Nick shows up with most often.
Makes the call.
Royale.
Royale with cheese.
Royal.
Brandstrom is looking down at King 3 offsuit, but he's heads up against Suitsor, who raised to $900,000 with 6-3 suited.
Does not mix in the re-raise, just a call. Hello, nurse. OMG.
Full house for Brandstrom. Trip 3s for Suitsor.
Brandstrom checks. Textbook trap play. He's got the board absolutely crushed. And by checking, he's giving Suitsor the green light to bet with all his bluffs, value hands, and even air.
He might be tempted not to check raise here, but we can see if he plays it quick, all of the chips are going to be going into the middle.
Here comes the C-bet. 700,000 into 2.2 million.
A standard continuation bet. But in reality, he's walking straight into quicksand. With trip 3s, he's betting for value and protection, expecting to get called by weak kings, pocket pairs, or even some ace-high floats. From Brandstrom's perspective, this is perfect. His check has worked.
You can only play this slow, right? You've just got so much of this, and it's so unlikely that your opponent does. What can you do?
Oh, come on.
Jeez!
The turn comes 6 of diamonds, and Brandstrom checks again. It's a brilliant move because it keeps the door wide open for Suitsor to keep betting.
Does Brandstrom want to now start getting all the chips in on the turn?
Suitsor fires 1.7 million. This bet makes perfect sense from his perspective, and Brandstrom has checked twice, showing no aggression.
You gotta just call again and go for value on the river, and you are gonna get it.
The 10 of hearts lands on the river. And once again, Brandstrom checks. He's played this hand perfectly so far. By checking here, he's saying, I don't have a strong hand. You're totally safe to bet again.
The check raise on the river means he'll get to play for all of the chips.
The nonchalant 6 million bet.
Suitsor falls for it completely unaware he's about to get wrecked. But after investing so much, can he actually fold here?
All in.
There's the shove, checks his hand, snap calls, thinks it's all over, but it is not.
Too excited. No.
House over house. Ridiculously sick cooler.
Doug Polk kicks things off with Jack-9 suited, a hand that can pop off real hard if the flop comes just right. Doug has already 3-bet his opponent raise, trying to portray strength. As he is calling, I am inclined to tell you that Owen, the guy with the pocket tens, is an amateur, and I think this is his first professional table. Imagine playing versus one of the biggest names in the game on your first table.
Doug hits 2 pair on this flop.
Owen's got some escape hatches, though, in the form of an 8 for a straight or, of course, a 10.
After the flop delivers a 2-pair for Doug Polk, I am starting to worry about our friend Owen here. He is indeed holding a good pair and has an open-ended straight flush draw, but Doug is currently holding the nuts and is looking to apply pressure with another $4,000 bet. Our amateur has a big decision to make, so he naturally takes his time, but ends up calling. I bet he is feeling the straight on the river.
How much do you have behind here? It's like 23, 43, 50? 50?
Oh my goodness.
Nice turn card for Owen. Not only does he have the straight, he's got straight flush redraw.
With the straight on the turn, Owen now takes 35 seconds to decide that he wants to bet more than half the pot for $10,000. But don't worry, I have sped it up for you.
Owen goes for a 2/3 pot bet. Sets up a nice-sized river shove, should he get called.
After the amateur bet, Doug's call was almost like a snap call compared to how long they're taking to decide this game.
Doug's not going to go anywhere. 2-pair just yet. And there's the straight flush.
Wow. All in.
Owen does go all in.
Really brutal.
But if Owen taking so long to decide wasn't enough, Doug Polk contemplated the laws of the universe for a minute and a half before making his decision. But once again, I have sped up to his decision. Let's check it out.
Queen X of diamonds. I have so many hearts, though.
Doug is just trying to think of hands that he beats.
I don't like this one bit. I don't like this one bit.
Yeah, maybe Owen has King, Queen of diamonds exactly.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on Queen 10 offsuit.
Let's do something fun. Let's just do that. You have position, you can't fold.
His late position open sits squarely in a linear cutoff range. Scott defends the big blind with ace-9 offsuit, a textbook continue that dominates Negreanu and realizes well closing the action.
Pony G move one time. Little dark fire.
Because Negreanu bets in the dark, his $2,200 flop stab isn't tailored to the texture that appears. On this board, the big blinds defend has more one-pair coverage while the opener keeps the higher overpairs and sets, though those are a thin slice. By only calling, he keeps Negreanu's bluffs alive, protects his check range, and avoids isolating himself against better jacks and sets.
I don't want to see it.
Another 9.
What is it? Tell me.
It's the 9 of spades.
Yes! Okay.
A paired top card massively benefits the blind's defend, which contains far more 9x. Negreanu's second bet in the dark for $5,600 is now functionally capped and almost never a 9.
Yeah, see, that was stupid. Oh, brother. Kind of stupid of me to do that. I want to see the river. Show me a rabbit hunt.
Daniel folds.
Okay. Phew. No, I didn't. Aha! I'm going to straddle.
Punish him.
First one. Come on, punish me.
With the straddle on, both limpers show weakness. Daniel picks up 7-4 suited and bumps it to $3,200. That raise isn't hand strength motivated. It's a squeeze that punishes wide limp ranges and buys position and initiative heads up.
Aha! It worked. Sweet. Plan came together. Position, big pot. They already sucked in for 800. Cannot fold.
Why are you telling me?
I don't know. Why not? You're there. What, you got other things going on?
Yeah.
Sorry, did I bother you while you were busy? Pardon me. Okay. What do you want to do now?
Raise pot.
Do that. Do that. Let's get it on.
Scott Seaver re-raises to a polarized, exploitative 3-bet that attacks straddle squeezes. His value range here is the usual ace through 10s, balanced by junky high-card disconnected bluffs that block nothing but play well as one-and-done pressure.
One of us is going to go all in this hand. Eventually, on the turn, something funky's going to happen. Could be me, but I got reload money, so whatever.
Doyle Brunson escapes. Daniel's call keeps Seaver's air in, retains position, and realizes the equity of a hand that flops, draws, and low pairs surprisingly often. Seaver's check protects his checking range and avoids getting raised off equity by hard draws. Daniel checks behind. His 4 is a classic bluff catcher, too good to bluff, too weak to value, and he's thrilled to bank a free card in position. This is a range shift card. It spikes Seaver's value range far more than Daniel's. At the same time, hearts miss and Daniel retains many floats that would attack when checked to. Seaver checks again, keeping bluffs alive and inducing. Daniel obliges for $12,000 credible from hands like Ace-Queen, Queen-Jack of Hearts, or a delayed stab with Ace-High plus Heart blocker. But 7-4 suited doesn't hold useful blockers, so the bluff's equity and denial are limited.
I guess I could have checked. Might have been better for me if I checked. Because if I checked, you couldn't have raised me. It's so weird when he does that. We're going to have to check out.
Daniel folds.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on 8-6 suited. Calacanis opens to $1,200 with pocket sevens. That raise is standard from middle position. It folds out trash and plays well post-flop. Negreanu flats with 8-6 of diamonds. He is not calling to hit a pair. He is buying position, playability, and high equity boards. This texture massively improves the caller's range relative to the raiser. The pre-flop opener still has all the overpairs, but the callers capture the lion's share of the strong draws and 2-pair straight candidates. Negreanu's exact hand is near perfect. He leads $2,500 into 2 opponents, a small but purposeful stab that pressures ace-high and pocket 8s through 10s, while charging draws that he blocks and dominates.
Got a little some of that.
This card flips equity on its head. Calacanis spikes a set, but Negreanu's straight also arrives. Importantly, the new straight is very available from the caller's range. Any 6 often peels the flop, so Calacanis' set is strong but not invulnerable. Negreanu bets $7,000. That sizing accomplishes 2 things. First, it prints value immediately against 1-pair overpairs that do not believe, and against sets that fear raising into a straight. Second, it continues to charge diamond draws that are now drawing thin versus a made straight. From a range standpoint, the flat is telling. He is unlikely to have an overpair without redraws to a full house that wants protection. The board pairs. Full houses become possible and, in fact, Calacanis improves from a set to 7s full of 4s. Negreanu's straight loses equity versus the portion of Calacanis' range that slow played the turn with boats in mind. But many worse hands still exist.
This is reminiscent of a typical hand for Daniel Negreanu. Let's have the nuts with a redraw and see what happens. Let's pair the board, yeah. God, really? No, gotta be kidding.
Guess that means you don't have the Jack-9 this time.
No, I had the nuts with a redraw. What'd you make it? How much?
35 more. Only 35 more.
Only 35 more? Why?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
What did you have like, you don't have a set, right? Because you would have raised me?
Yeah, I would have raised it the set. I could have flopped a straight.
Could have flopped straight. Okay, I can beat that. Whew.
I could be on a flush draw. Could be busted.
Yeah, that's true too. 4s and 5s. No, I think you raised me.
I could have quads.
Yeah, you could have that too.
Could have aces and just be overplaying them.
I was gonna fold for sure, and now I'm thinking about calling you. So you're doing a good job if that's what you want.
Now I'm gonna be quiet and pretend that's not what I want. Tip the dealer $1,000. I will show it to you. You have to split it with the other dealer.
Oh, guarantee.
That's a good deal.
So $1,000, you know what I have. You don't have to live and wait till the end of the season.
There's the call.
Sorry, not in the hand.
He called it. 7s.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on pocket queens. He opens to $1,200 from early position that raise sizes well for a loose table and keeps his range strong and uncapped. 4 players continue. David Williams flats with pocket kings. Against this many callers, Negreanu's plan is straightforward.
We have some action.
Play pot control against condensed ranges, realize position, and let dominated one-pair hands overplay on later streets. The monotone, king-high board polarizes ranges immediately. Nut advantage lives with suited spades and sets. Top pair advantage sits with the blind callers and late position flats. Moseri checks.
Everyone take a look, see if they have a spade in their hand.
Calacanis takes a small stab of $4,000 into about $20,000. A sizing that usually represents one pair without a high spade, weak spade draws, or simple information gathering. Negreanu just calls with queens. That flat keeps his range wide and invites dominated value behind to continue. Critically, holding the queen of spades blocks the nut flush combinations and secures useful run-out equity if a fourth spade arrives.
Owen.
And the loose cannon's all in.
Cannon time.
Abe and Jason are out.
Oh boy. Gamble, gamble.
You don't have much money.
26.
Count what you got. Let's have a count of the loose cannon one time.
All right, here you go.
This could be
Like 75.
this could be that time here.
On the 4.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you're supposed to gamble sooner or later.
Daniel calls.
Pair the board, I call.
David's in 2.
Got a flush.
Oh no! Okay.
Wow.
He's good.
no,
Well, you would have busted me anyway.
Hold on,
Okay, I got a big side pot working. So let's just have a spade.
Let's pair the board.
Just do one time, right?
I would like to do more than one, but actually screw that, one time.
What the heck? That's a spade.
Good hand.
Will's out.
So I won that pot for sure. Go ahead, pair the board. What the hell?
All right, he wants to pair it, so just pair it.
It doesn't.
Scooped it.
Wow.
Sick
Nice
hand,
nice
buddy.
hand.
Sick hand. Tell your wife I'm sorry.
$383,000 pot.
Ryan is looking down on ace-deuce suited. He got involved in a few bad beats that night, but little does he know the worst is yet to come. Nick airball takes the button and turns pre-flop into a leverage spot built on position and blockers. His small 3-bet keeps his range wide and the stacks deep, daring the blinds to define themselves out of position. Ryan answers with a chunky 4-bet from the blind, the classic polarized blend of premiums and suited wheel aces that block 5-bet value. Nick's 5-bet to 33K is deliberately petite and keeps everything playable. That sizing telegraphs polarization 2 hands happy to shovel later, and a few suited high-card bluffs that block premium combos and still see flops well. King 9 suited is exactly that kind of wolf in sheep's clothing. It removes King X from Ryan, plays clean on Broadway boards, and retains disguised equity on monotone textures. Ryan's call with ace-2 suited preserves his 4-bet bluffs and defends his story, but it consigns him to the worst seat in a 5-bet pot and leaves him short on nuttiness unless he specifically shows up with the ace of hearts.
$68,000 almost already in the middle.
The flop is a monotone Broadway dream for the button, and Nick has the dream within the dream king of hearts and 9 of hearts for the straight flush. On these boards, the 5-better naturally owns the suited high card advantage, so his small continuation bet works on every level. It pressures ace-high and medium pairs. It denies a cheap look to hands with a single heart, and it looks perfectly routine whether he's bluffing or holding the nuts. Ryan's call keeps his range wide but already shaky. With ace-2 of diamonds, he has no flush equity, no pair, and no blocker to the nut region Nick actually represents. He's floating almost entirely on the belief that later aggression will fold out hands like red queens or a single king of hearts. The problem is structural. Without the ace of hearts in his hand, his story is missing its cornerstone. Every call he makes builds a pot he'll be forced to bluff later with nothing to lean on. The turn is a blank for Ryan's real hand and a test of discipline. When Nick bets again for 26K, it's the kind of second barrel that keeps pressure on weak pairs and teases calls from single heart holdings. While we wait for Ryan's decision, I would be very grateful if you hit the like button. It helps out a lot. Thank you.
What is Ryan doing? He raises.
Ryan turns to the only weapon he has and check raises to 80K. On paper, it's a move that can make sense. A blind who 4-bet pre and check the flop can credibly represent slow-played ace-high flushes or overpairs containing a big heart. The trouble is combinatorics. Against Nick's 5-bet range full of king-high and ace-high suited broadways, you need the ace of hearts or king of hearts in hand to strip value from his continuing region. Without it, you're bluffing into a range that simply doesn't fold.
See Ryan rolling his eyes at himself.
Nick's decision to flat rather than jam is the final layer of control. It keeps Ryan's bluffs alive. invites another shove from weaker value and guarantees a river spot where his straight flush is untouchable.
All in.
And Ryan shoves and loses a $383,000 pot.
Oh, what a stupid
Wow.
river.
You're just never mind. Choking freaking
Finally happened.
8-3. Moron, mother.
Hellmuth kicks things off with pocket deuce. This is a hand that only someone as wild as Phil Hellmuth can play when faced with a raise. Little does he know, his aggression will end up making him mad once again.
You were like drawing dead.
Right after making the call, Hellmuth plays one of his special cards. Complete shithousery. He directly calls out his opponent for drawing dead and bluffing him. Let's see if it will work out. Perkins completely unbothered by Hellmuth's antics calls with 8-4 suited. I guess these must be his lucky numbers, or else I don't see a reason why he would go three-way with these cards. The flop is here, and oh boy, does it deliver some drama. We have 5 with 2 jacks. Now it can be anyone's game. Let's see what Hellmuth will do here. With Perkins and Williams both showing weakness with their checks, Hellmuth will want to take control of the pot. To do that, he instantly fires a bet for $4,000. Perkins with his 8-4 suited didn't have to think too long about what to do next, and does what every one of us would do in this spot and folds. Williams, on the other hand, didn't think at all. He snap called the bet as if he is holding the nuts and is just waiting for Hellmuth to bloat the pot some more. The turn delivers a queen of clubs, which makes things even more interesting. Now Williams has an open-ended straight draw and is looking stronger than ever in this hand. Even though the turn improved his hand, Williams still decides to check in order to see how Hellmuth will play it out first. And that's exactly what Hellmuth was waiting for. After no more than a few seconds of thinking, he fires another 4,000 bet, trying to pressure Williams out of seeing the river. For better or for worse, Williams almost snap calls the bet, which means he either thinks Hellmuth has nothing or is just feeling super lucky.
Even a 5 or a queen can counterfeit Phil's hand.
The turn delivers a king, which completely shifts the game, and Williams is now in the lead. Make sure to watch until the end to see Hellmuth going crazy after the showdown.
King. Here it comes.
That's the ejector seat straight out of Goldfinger. Yums.
Moron, mother.
Phil Hellmuth is looking down on pocket nines. He is mostly up against celebrities, but even in those situations, people find ways to make him tilt, and Mr. Beast won't be an exception.
Now he picks up the hand that won him his first World Series of Poker main event.
As we could have all expected, having amateurs on the table doesn't make things go fast, and people are more likely to play with random hands, as we can see by the many limpers. Slime takes things into his own hands, though, and raises to $2,400. That gets snap called by Mr. Beast, and after some weird shenanigans from XQC, 3 betted by him with ace deuce offsuit.
Mr. Beast with 150 in front of him, so.
$1.3 million retail, like 450 in inventory. The what? I just told the story like 3 times.
He lost a shit ton of money by tweeting out, I'm gonna give people free chocolate who like this tweet.
Oh, yeah.
Now we can observe XQC looking for the jack somewhere below the table, but as he can't find it, he decides to check, which is followed by a unison check around the table until Mr. Beast does this.
Well, you're right, 10.
10,000. I don't know what Mr. Beast has, but based on what else everybody else has.
Let me know in the comments, what is your guess for Mr. Beast's cards?
Phil's gonna call anyway, with 9s. Not a believer.
The turn brings the 8 of diamonds, which I don't really know how to feel about. Not knowing Mr. Beast's cards, he might have a straight or a flush draw, and I bet Phil Hellmuth is getting more and more heated with those pocket 9s. After you see Phil Hellmuth's blow up, make sure to rate it in the comments from 1 to 10 of how crazy it was on the Brat scale.
He has probably something good, and he wants me to bet. But I kind of want him to bet as well, so it's fine.
What's your call on you bet?
25.
You make 2 pair, 10-3?
All right, that counts. Okay, I mean, I have a queen, so you probably have a king.
You got a queen? You got me.
Yeah.
Queen of hearts, 5 of hearts.
It's like impossible that I could ever be losing in this game. The man just bet a queen
you do
5.
that for a living?
I called 5,000 under the fucking gun. I got to have 9s or above, and he bet a queen 5 for value on the river.
You're just not believable anymore, okay? Stop.
Hellmuth kicks things off with pocket kings. He was getting a bad beat after bad beat on this table. So now his fortunes seem to be turning around.
Hellmuth with kings now. Well, he's lipped in a bunch. Let's see if he keeps it balanced.
Come on, just
No,
min-raise
he's
it.
gonna raise
Oh
it.
my God,
Raise it up to
why?
8.
After 3 folds, we reach Hellmuth with his king 4 suited. It must be his lucky hand or something, because he will call Hellmuth's bet. Unfortunately for him, though, Stanley, who is looking down on these juicy queens, is going to.
Raise it. 5,200.
There's the 3-bet. Just a call from Phil. No 4-bet. Getting the other people out. That's going to bring Keating in, I'm sure it does.
Hellmuth is probably silently screaming from happiness on the inside. This 3-bet is perfect for him, and he snap calls it. The real question is, why would Keating and Hellmuth pay this steep price with such marginal hands? But that, I will leave to you, the viewer. The flop comes 8, 7, 8 rainbow. It might not be perfect because sometimes pair of 7s or 8s gets through this 3-bet to see the flop. But Hellmuth should be reasonably happy with how it turned out for now. Stanley bets $5,000 again, and this time out, only Hellmuth will make the call, with Keating and Hellmuth finally taking the smart and right option of folding those weak hands.
And the queen on the turn. Oh, we're going to see some steam.
Gentlemen, I can officially attest to the fact that Hellmuth is probably the unluckiest player I have ever seen. This queen is about to wipe the calmness off of Hellmuth's face. The only question left is, will Choi play it so he extracts maximum value plus a bonus of Hellmuth's rage at the end?
That 21.
All right, 21,000.
Wow.
I have a bad feeling you have me, but I have an overpair.
Yep.
Come on, this motherfucking goddamn fucking queen.
What's that? What's that?
Ah!
Tom Dwan looks down at pocket 7s on the button. Peter 3-bets to $7,200 from the small blind with ace 5 suited, the classic light squeeze that leans on his perceived range advantage and punishes wide opens. It folds out a chunk of Dwan's air while still having blockers and playability when called. Against Dwan, though, that kind of hand rarely wins the pot uncontested. Dwan calls for solid reasons. Pocket 7s have real showdown value, don't fear most flops, and crucially can cooler top pair ranges by upgrading to sets on ace high or 10 high textures. Flatting also preserves position and a healthy SPR, letting him navigate post-flop without bloating the pot pre. The flop comes ace 7-10. Peter fires $5,500 into the pot. From his seat, this board is his. The 3-better owns more strong ace X, and C-betting denies equity from backdoor suits and gutters like king-queen or queen-jack. Dwan isn't buying. With middle set, he turns that auto C-bet into a lever, bumping it to $16,000. The raise does 3 things. It taxes all Broadway draws immediately. It announces that Peter won't get to set the pace for cheap, and it starts building a pot that can comfortably play for stacks by the river. Peter calls, consistent with top pair, decent kicker hands, some sticky queens and jacks with backdoors, and the occasional trap. He keeps his range wide enough to fight future streets while not clarifying where he's at. The turn is the queen, tightening ranges and connecting with Broadway draws. Peter now leads for $15,000, trying to seize the initiative back on a card that improves many of his semi-bluffs. This stab is less pure value and more about denying a free river to King-Jack, Queen-Jack, and Jack-9, while forcing Dwan to declare strength or fold middling hands. The lead also subtly caps him. When the small blind block bets on this texture, he's less likely to hold sets that slow played the flop and more likely on one pair, ace X or a queen, that picked up equity. Tom Dwan doesn't hesitate. He raises to $48,000, a size that polarizes his range and puts every draw in the vice. It punishes the block bet, prices out those 12 to 15 outer combos, and reclaims initiative so he dictates the river. Just as important, the raise calibrates the stacks. After this, the remaining SPR is low enough that any blank lets him jam cleanly, while even scary rivers have already been charged a premium.
Wow, all in. And a snap call. $262,000 pot. Peter is drawing dead. Tom makes a full house on the river.
Negreanu is holding pocket fives and he's raising to 95,000. He's up against the legends Tom Dwan with pocket nines and Phil Ivey with pocket tens.
Over to Tom Dwan.
That's not a hand Dwan would fold, not against Daniel, and definitely not in a $250,000 buy-in. Tom looks like he's thinking, I'm pretty sure he shouldn't flat and trap, but rather crank up the pressure early.
Dwan has just made a call with pocket nines. Perhaps at another time he might have raised. Oh, check this out. Phil Ivey's picked up pocket tens.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty
he's
surprised.
Just called.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by the flat call from Phil. It's usually a spot where you'd like to squeeze, especially the fact that he's on the button. It's going to look pretty fishy and quite possibly have someone play back at him.
Mike Haxton folds.
The flop comes 3 queen 6, 2 spades. Negreanu opened with pocket fives, whiffed the flop completely, and now he's first to act on this board, with Dwan and Ivey behind him, who are not exactly known for playing nice when they smell weakness.
Misses all of them. A check from Daniel. This will be interesting.
I don't think any of the three of them are going to be too thrilled with that flop, to be honest. Queen's certainly in the calling range of Tom and Phil. Hands like King Queen, Ace Queen. I expect Phil will just check this back as well.
Phil does. We'll see a turn.
The turn is the 4 of clubs, and things are starting to line up for some sneaky draws. No one took a stab on the flop, which means this pot's still up for grabs, and Negreanu knows it.
And given the fact that he was a pre-flop aggressor, both players have checked back the flop.
He does take a stab.
Dwan isn't just thinking about his cards. He's scanning Daniel and Phil like he's picking up frequencies. These guys are playing poker on a different level. Every glance, every pause, every chip toss. There's a language here only the elite understand, and Dwan is fluent.
I think Tom is more than happy to peel one here with nines. He's got to assume that Daniel's going to bet a queen on the flop there.
Well, he's got his eye on both Daniel and Phil, looking at across the table to both players, and he smooth calls here. So round to Phil Ivey, and this is a tough spot.
Even though he does have the best hand, it's probably correct to fold.
Yeah, well, Phil Ivey kind of stuck there. Tom Dwan now eyes only on Daniel Negreanu, and the river's a 2 of hearts.
And Daniel gets there.
Oh, Daniel checking. He's going to try and trap him. And look at this, it might work. Dwan reaching for chips.
I check.
Oh, wow, Tom Dwan checks. Daniel not happy.
I don't bet my friends, you know? I don't bet my friends.
Wow, Dwan's really relieved.
If Robbie Lou was a Disney princess, then her hand is the ugly villain. She is looking down on Jack 4 offsuit. And I have zero idea why she even played this hand. But she is about to call Garrett's raise of $3,000, so it's time to see the flop.
That was like one of his first TV appearances.
One of his first ones, yeah. That was like before he won all those tournaments. And
the cards that come on the flop are horrendous for Robbie, but they are semi-decent for Garrett, as he can even pull off the straight flush if the stars align. That's why he fires a bet of $2,500. He is charging Robbie a small price to see the pot, and also trying to keep some semblance of strength in her eyes.
Jack 4 with the Jack of clubs. Turn is a 3, puts backdoor hearts down. And this is usually when Garrett will lay the hammer down with combo draws.
Now, it's very important to know that Garrett's stack is 8 times bigger than Robbie's. So him bluffing 10K on the turn is nothing too unusual. What happens next, though, is completely crazy, and it's the reason why Garrett accused Robbie of cheating, even though she later said many times it wasn't the case.
She's got 1 club and 1 heart, and wow, look at this. What is she thinking about here? She gonna raise it.
Confusion is the only thing that you can read on Garrett's face. He is still in a very good position with his draws, even though his equity fell to 53%. He could easily put her in a position where she needs to all in or fold. And with her hand, fold is what she must do. He takes his sweet time, so let me speed it up for you until the point where he does exactly what needs to be done, and 3-bets her for $129,000.
I think he's considering bet 3-betting, and yep, there's the all-in. There's the all-in. Garrett, like I said, he's just so experienced in bet patterns, bet sizing.
At this point, even the craziest maniac players I have seen would fold this hand. Robbie has Jack 4 and nothing on the board. Even if I am 100% tilted, I will fold this one too, but not her.
She calls?
I prefer once, but it's up to you. Yikes.
Oh my God. We'll go to the river. The river is a 9.
It's not fucking call.
And the river bricks out again.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sashimi opens up with pocket aces. She is staring deep in the eyes of her friend Brittany and has raised to the modest $110.
Thank you, Geraldine. I appreciate that. I'm like trying to figure it out. Like, what is going on there?
Anybody.
I didn't want to play.
Get out of here. Get out of my
Somebody squeeze, please.
We almost get a family pot like in the Jennifer Tilly game that you should check out in the description after finishing this video.
7.
Brittany doesn't get the 7 she wished for, but the flop delivers a 10 for Jamie, just enough to look like she is winning in her eyes. So Sashimi can squeeze her with the aces. Sashimi starts off with a small bet of $400, trying to see how this low-hanging pot landed for the people on the 5-way pot. To which Brittany snap calls and Jamie takes an unusually long time to think about calling, and we can see why. She decides $400 is too low and raises Sashimi's bet to $2,000. To which both Coco and Brittany with the pocket 6s and 7s decide it's too expensive to play and fold, and Sashimi with a smile on her face calls. The turn comes the 4 of clubs, to which Sashimi checks, trying to fish out the all-in jam from Jamie. And if she was aiming for that good job because...
Jamie is all in, and Sashimi's got her killed. Jamie looking for a 10 ball.
10.
Give her a 10. Give her a 10.
5.
10. Oh!
You asked for
Oh, you got what you asked for.
Wow.
Jamie was in such bad shape.
If you liked this video, make sure you check out the one showing up on your screen selected specifically for you,